pray for, every night and every day for. You give it all, then you give more. That's good for footy.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? You all well? Nice to see you all. Welcome along to the Village Green Hotel for the Carlton night. We've got two fellows at the back that are dying to come out and meet you. So when they come out, you make them feel nice and welcome. Probably the last time you get to say how much you love this boy. So make sure that you do let him know that you love him. We'll get him out here. No mucking around. This is the only live and interactive footy panel show going around in Australia. This is where the fans meet the players and the players meet the fans, and that's what's going to happen tonight. He's our first panellist. He was born on the 21st of June 1987. He's played a total of 258 games and kicked a total of 155 goals. He made his AFL debut back in 2006, and when he played for the Carlton Football Club, he used to wear the number 39 on his back. Could you please welcome to the stage, Dale Thomas? Yeah!
We are the Navy Blues. We are the old dark Navy Blues. We're
How
the
good's
team
that?
that never lets you
Yeah,
down.
that's all right. Save it. I know you've got to play that song a few times this year. That's awesome, and you'll get to play it a lot next year. Let's get our second panellist out here, though, so as we can get on with the show without too much mucking around. Our second panellist, he was born on the 13th of May 1989. He's played a total of 188 games and kicked 94 goals. He made his AFL debut back in 2008 when he plays for the Carlton Football Club. He wears the number 8 on his back. Please welcome to the stage, Matty Cruiser.
We are the
How's that? Hello, mate. Good to see you, mate. Here you go, boys. We've all got waters up here, apart from one who hasn't. He's actually under the amber fluid. So he's ready to have a good night.
I'm retired, mate. I can do what I want now
That's it.
and not get in trouble for it.
That's it. How does it feel actually saying that?
It's a bit weird, to be honest.
yeah.
I guess this time of year anyway that everyone's somewhat retired. Just some of them have to go back to work. So, it's been a pretty normal off-season so far with the celebrations and the Mad Mondays and whatnot. But, now everyone's gone away. I'm sort of a bit bored and not sure what to do with myself.
You need someone to play with.
I do,
Yeah,
I
I know what
certainly
you're
do.
saying. How did you tell us a little bit? How did you go about getting Warwick Kappa down to your Mad Monday? What happened there?
Well, the Wiz and I we formed a strange friendship. I said in my first ever press conference that I wore number 39 for Warwick Kappa, and as I left that press conference, I had a text from Warwick Kappa, so he moves pretty quickly, the Wiz. And I texted him, I said, look, mate, it's my last one. What are your thoughts? I'll go as you. You come as Collingwood Daisy. And he just wrote back Kappa. I was like, we on? So I picked him up, and I think he stayed longer than I did in the end.
That sounds like Cap. Yeah, there's never a party that doesn't go long enough for Warwick Kappa. Welcome to the show, Matty Cruiser. This is your first time on. That's good for footy. How's everything with you? I'm not going to talk about football yet, but how's life going now that you've finished up with the season?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm pretty busy the next 7 weeks. My wife's expecting, so a little baby on the way.
Wow, congratulations. Wow.
That's my off-season right there.
Yeah, right, there you go. And you're getting a few tips from Daisy, obviously with Matilda, isn't it? She's now, 5?
Yeah, she's 4.5.
4.5,
Yeah.
right. So you obviously he's been giving you some good parenting advice.
Plenty of tips.
Yeah.
Just make sure you sleep at the other end of the house. And
Yeah, right. Insulation.
I reckon it was bad timing. You should have waited till the start of pre-season, then you would have got out of a week or two.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than stuffing up your whole
There
holidays.
you go.
My fault.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work that way, does it? Yeah, I get you. So what I want to do here, guys, normally we'd go into it with our first segment, which I'm going to introduce, but a little bit of this is going to be dedicated to Daisy because we're going to do a little bit of a farewell to him, but at the same time that we're still stuff that I'll get over to with you, Matty. So let's get into it. This is our first little segment that I want to do it with. What we're going to do is we're going to get straight into it with What About Me? There you go. What about me? So, what I wanted to do, mate, I was thinking over the weekend and when I started to put the show together, I thought I want to ask Daisy a few relative questions about football inside and out. So I wanted to just start with this. I wanted you to give me a little bit of insight into Dale Thomas, the man. Like anyone, you've had dreams, goals and aspirations. Have you lived up to them and have they lived up to you?
Well, yeah, I guess when I was a kid growing up, all I wanted to do was play AFL footy. That was sort of my goal, my dream. I put a lot of effort into it, probably at the detriment to my schooling if you ask my teachers. Often I wouldn't attend so I could try and play footy, or I'd do the sport so I didn't have to attend classes. So I guess in that sense, that was my one dream, and I got to do it. If you told me 14 years ago I'd graft out a 250-odd game career and a premiership, I certainly would have taken it.
Wow, good answer. All right.
Put them
please.
together.
Yeah,
Daisy.
there you go. Excellent. What I also wanted to point out, you were number 2 in the 2005 national draft, but your first game in 2006, and we obviously, I know this is a Carlton show, but we've got to talk a little bit of Collingwood because that's where Daisy's career has been. The first game against Adelaide, you had 16 disposals, 2 goals and a ripper mark, which you took. You also received a Rising Star nomination after 20 disposals against Hawthorn in your second game. So you've only played 2 games, you've got a Rising Star nomination, you've become a bit of a cult figure literally overnight. What does that feel like now looking back on your career where you are now to then?
Yeah, well, even then it was still pretty surreal. I guess, as I said, I dreamt of playing AFL footy, and then to come in, I was fortunate enough to play round 1, and then took a hanger with, I think it was maybe my first ever mark, and then got to Rising Star round 2, played Anzac Day round 4. So in terms of a dream start to your footy career, I was sitting there sort of going, shit, how good's this?
Pinch yourself,
yeah,
moment.
that's it.
And that's really what I wanted to find out about that. I went on to then, right here, Anzac Day, that year you got Goal of the Year and Mark of the Year nominations in the one game.
Yeah, only player
Anzac
in
Day.
history to get Goal of the Year and Mark of the Year on an Anzac Day. So another decoration for the Christmas tree.
Very nice to see it. Yeah, cool. I wanted, you'll get used to that as the show goes
I
on.
thought there was a rogue lion or something.
I wanted to ask you, you had that bit of a cult status figure when you were at Collingwood in your first year. Were you aware that they actually sold more Dale Thomas jumpers in your first year at Collingwood than they sold Nathan Buckley jumpers?
Yeah, I was. I think Bucks was too. That's why he sacked me. Yeah, no, that was just another weird thing. It went from that, and then it was Buckley's Brigade, their junior membership, that got changed to Tomo's Team 13, and it was it was just a happy times. I was just a young brash kid, just living the dream.
Wow, it's just when I went through all of this stuff, it just brought home. It resonated with me how much of a footy career you've had, and you've been fortunate enough to play at probably the 2 biggest clubs in the land, which has been fantastic. Tell us about growing up. Where did your influences come from?
I grew up in a small town called Druin in Gippsland, and probably the most famous footballer from there, apart from me, is Gary Ablett Senior. He was pretty handy. So he was my idol, my hero. I used to spend hours in the paddock trying to kick goals like he did. It was back in the day when they were actually good full forwards and they'd kick 9, 10 goals every week. So sit there and watch him of a Saturday arvo and then go out and practice and try and emulate all the skills and talents that he had.
And he had a lot. He was a brilliant footballer. So he was probably your biggest influence inside of football. Who was outside of football?
Yeah, no doubt probably my mum was the biggest influence. She raised myself and my sister from about the age of 13. So for her, now that I'm a parent too and sort of having the beauty of hindsight and reflecting back, her ability to drive me to football. My sister was playing elite level netball then as well. So for her to sacrifice everything she did so I could live out my dream, in the past sort of months has almost been a dedication to her as much as it has been to me. I'm not sure if anyone saw the last game down at Geelong, but I think she's still down there crying. She lost the plot a bit. So. But it was beautiful to see how much it meant to her, and hopefully I've made her proud along the way.
Oh, I'm sure you have. You can put hands together for that too. That's beautiful. Well done, mate. What's one of your most treasured memories from football, from your footballing career? And don't be you don't have to be biased here. You can say exactly whatever comes to mind.
No, probably my first game, that's certainly one.
Yep.
All the Anzac days, they were special days. Obviously the grand final, and then some of the wins we had at Carlton more recently, when they were coming few and far between. Yep. Some of the wins we had, and most of them were in real close games. I know we knocked GWS off a couple of years ago when we had no right to. Just brilliant, hard-fought wins. So I certainly started to appreciate winning a lot more, I guess, the older I got and the more I realised I was getting closer to the end and the start of my career.
Can I ask you, your last game, you looked like, I don't know, like the monkey was off your back and you played a really relaxed brand of football. Did you know at that point that you were going to be, hanging your boots up as such? Yeah. Because you seemed really comfortable in your skin. Yeah,
I got told so the Tuesday before our second last game. Yep. So it was such a weird week. we don't want you, but we're happy for you to play the last 2 games. Thanks, fam. But yeah, so that was just an emotional week, sort of the highs of, on relief, I guess, of knowing that, well, this is the last 2 games, so you've got nothing to lose, but then also the reality that it was our last game at the MCG, and that sort of became a bit emotional for me before we ran out. But then again, we won, and I got to go around the ground with my daughter and wave to all the fans who came out. So that's probably a moment I've overlooked there. That was certainly something I'll be grateful for forever. Was that last quarter when we were winning and the fans were going berserk. I balked a guy in the pocket and everyone was going berserk. It was brilliant. And then we won, and the send-off I got was a special moment.
How gorgeous. I love it. I wanted to allude to the fact because I heard, I obviously wasn't at the game, and I'm not going to pretend, but the queues to get in to go to the game. Carlton fans were lined up. They couldn't wait to get in, and it's like Carlton put on a fantastic game. It was a brilliant spectacle to watch. To go out like that, you must be super happy that was the result.
Yeah, well, it's interesting they got rid of me because I've been putting bums on seats for 14 years, haven't I? From a membership point of view, it might have cost them, but no, it's been a hell of a ride, and as I said, I'm just grateful that we touched on to play for. I know the other C word in here isn't overly fond of being spoken in Collingwood, but to have played for, that's where I was going. I know there's kids
just
in
for
the
the
room.
kids in the room, that's what he was aiming
All the
at.
umpires, I wasn't calling anyone a cheat. I've learned my lesson there. But to play for 2 of the biggest clubs in the land and to be respected by their fans is something I'll be grateful for forever.
Excellent, mate. I love it. All right. Who's been the most influential person in your life?
Well, as I touched on, probably Mum, but in my football life, no doubt Michael Malthouse has sort of grafted not only the person I've become, but the player I've become. He took me under my wing when I first came to Collingwood, and just sort of knew I had deficiencies in my game, gave me roles at the time that I didn't really understand, but looking back now, I get why and what the meaning was behind them, sort of that half-forward role, teach me how to play defence because I didn't know what defence was. I thought defence was what separated the fans from the players. But so just things like that, and he's always been there. It hasn't always been good times through injury and form and whatnot, but he's been someone that's always supported me, not just publicly but also privately as well.
Brilliant. Can I ask, did he give when you knew that you were finishing up? Did you speak with him about that? Is there any advice that he gave you? Or?
I got a text from him saying, "Surely this isn't true."
Right.
Because I think we'd spoken a bit, and he saw the footy I was playing, and he knew I was keen to go on. And obviously the position that the club was in terms of needing some leadership, I thought, and I guess he thought as well. But since speaking to him, it's sort of, we both get it now. I guess he sort of has a bit of emotion like a parent would at the start. But no, it's great that I've had his support along the way.
Wow, that's so nice. Most influential player whilst you've been playing, either at Carlton or Collingwood or...
Well, Cruz has been pretty...
Good?
No, we joke that Cruz is my minder, so he's probably kept me on the park hasn't let me get arrested on our trips to Sydney in the off-season.
Oh,
so
very nice.
Without him, I probably would have been wound up a few years ago. But now look, I've been fortunate to play with some great players. I go back to the early days at Collingwood, walking into a footy club that had Nathan Buckley, James Clement, Paul Lacuria, Shane O'Brien, Brodie Holland. Just amazing trainers, amazing work ethics, just showing you the right way. Then to play alongside Dane Swan, Scott Pendlebury, Alan Didak, Leon Davis, and then get to Carlton, Chris Judd, the big fella, one of the greatest spiritual leaders of all time.
Wow.
And Murph, Gibber, Simo, and who I'm now got lifelong friendships with. As I said, it's been a hell of a ride, but I'm certainly grateful for all these opportunities.
Well said. Thank you very much. You're going to keep you clapping all night. That was seriously
Have
beautiful.
you got a clap sound effect, mate? You're getting sore hands.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Sounds like a tiger.
I wanted to ask you, what's been your best footy game ever? And I know that we kind of touched on that before, but is this one? Yeah.
Narrow it down to one, you reckon?
Yeah. Is it one that just stands out for you? Would it be the Anzac Day one? Like your first time playing that? Or?
In terms of that as a memory, probably the best one I've played in terms of how well I've played was a game against North Melbourne in the wet. I had Levi Greenwood tag me and I had 29 touches, 3 goals, and got subbed out 5 minutes into the third quarter because I had a sore knee. So
yeah, right.
I was on for breaking records that day, and fortunately Levi then took my spot at Collingwood. So
how's that? Wow. All right. What was it like walking into Collingwood for day one? You've been drafted. It's 2005. You're going to play in 2006. But what was it like walking into Collingwood for the first time?
I was a bit nervous. I was a bit hungover, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, right.
I had the draft on the Saturday. We had a big party, and then I got told on the Sunday I had to get down to Melbourne. So I was like, okay, perfect.
Wow.
4 hours sleep.
Yeah.
I drove down, stayed at Greg Swan's house in Williamstown, and then day one walked in, had all the players like I guess we do now. You go up and introduce yourself because you just think you're another person. And it's the right thing to do. But I remember sort of Nathan Buckley going, "G'day, I'm Nathan."
I know.
No shit, he did. I've seen a bit of you. But no, look, it was a daunting experience because, as I said, I've watched those guys on the tally for years and they're revered figures across the competition. But that's the start of when all the hard work. Everyone says getting drafted is a hard thing. It's sort of once you get drafted, then you've got to put your best foot forward and do everything you can to earn the respect of your teammates and try and forge out a career.
Fantastic, beautiful. Is there anything that you would have done differently throughout your career? Is there anything that I don't like actually talking about it in a regret form, but is there anything that you would have done differently?
Financially, I probably wouldn't have spoken to an umpire quite emotionally or emotively. I could have had that 5 minutes back again. But to be honest, not really. I think everything I've done along the way, I've either learnt from or it's been a good thing. So I'm not really one for regrets. I sort of think that's how I've lived my life, played my games, just had a red-hot crack and hope for the best. And if it all went tits up, she'd be, sun will come up tomorrow. Yeah,
beautiful. What will you miss the most or the least about now?
Well, I can tell you what I miss the least. Two things, pre-season and the media getting into me. And apart from that, just the general banter of going into a footy club. I know everyone says it when they retire, but it's a pretty good job to have, although it's hard work to knock around with 40 blokes who you're really close mates with and just, play footy as a job. It's, I'm going to have to go into the real world now, which sucks.
Welcome. Yeah. Oh, mate, amazing. There it is. Says it all, that one little noise there. Yeah.
Holding me cup.
Where does life's journey take you next, do you think?
Hopefully down the media path and the commentating. So I'm tuning into Channel 7 this weekend. I'll be doing the Western Bulldogs GWS game.
Great.
First Spurs special comments game. Thank you.
Wonderful.
So I've done a bit of radio throughout my time, bit of TV as well. So hopefully down that path, hopefully spinning some positive stories on football and footballers and what they do, because living it for 14 years, it only takes one stuff up for you to be put through the ringer, but there's 1,000 good things that everyone does throughout the week. So hopefully there's an angle there that I can shed some light and some good on what everyone does.
That's brilliant. He's going to be perfect for it. I love it. Good on you, mate. I know you've been embraced by both clubs. What was it like playing against the Pies for the first time?
Yeah, it sucked. I was so nervous.
Really?
I thought I had it under control, but I was a nervous wreck looking back on it now.
Okay.
I was sort of underdone in terms of my preparation. I'd played 7 games after my ankle injury, and to be honest, I just thought it was just going to be, I'd go out and dominate, and it didn't happen. I didn't think that I'd probably hear the crowd as much as I did, and by the end of it, I just had a stinker. So, but again, it was an experience I learned from. One I probably wished had gone better, but that's life. It doesn't always come up roses.
Wow. Okay. 2013, you moved over to Carlton. That experience for you, what was it? What was the driving force? I know, the behind the scenes things, but tell us a little bit about what did it feel like for you to be knowing that you're going to go and be playing for Carlton?
It was a really tough decision. Obviously, I had a lot of great mates and memories, at the Collingwood Footy Club, and then had the injuries. Sort of the contract that was then offered to me by Collingwood was one of, incentives and a couple of years versus going over for 4 years. And in the end, I was like, I just think I need a fresh opportunity to put my best foot forward and, hopefully rid myself of all this, not an injury curse, but I just couldn't get myself right and back out on the park. So I thought, I'll try something completely different. I know it's the arch enemy, but sort of the way I was looking at it was probably more of a job than the arch enemy. It wasn't until I played the first game and got booed by 90,000 that I realised how hated I was for a few weeks there. But, it was an interesting time. It was a tough time throughout those years at times. But again, it's just someone that shaped me into the person I am today, so I wouldn't change it for the world.
Good on you, mate. Excellent. I wrote down here, look, being honest, and we've spoken about this before, there's always been a lot of media scrutiny put on you. I think a lot of it is like the Jack Watts thing as well. There's two people that I've always thought about in football that have had, I've found it as being unnecessary and unwarranted, but it's been there. How have you handled that throughout your journey?
Yeah, well, I agree with you in that sense. I think it's just been weird that for whatever reason, you mentioned Jack Watts and myself, and it starts conversations, it sells papers, and it keeps people relevant. So, and for a period there, I wasn't playing football that people knew I could, so it was somewhat of an easy target. If you scratch the surface a bit deeper, would have revealed the reasons why, obviously with the ankle injury, but everyone sort of skimmed over that. But there's no doubt that was a really tough time. It sort of probably put me in a spot where I really just disliked footy. Throughout my whole life, footy was the one thing that I just loved. No matter what was going on at home, no matter what was going on at school, to go to footy training, to rock up, to play on the weekends was the one bit of time of the week where you knew you were going to have fun and enjoy yourself. And it got to the point where the thing I dreaded the most was either going into the club because there'd be blokes jumping out from behind trees with cameras, or I'd be rocking up to game day and it'd be late in the last quarter and I knew I hadn't played well and just know that I was going to cop it for another week. So it took a bit of time to get my head around that and actually go and have to speak to people about it. Go see a sports psych and say, this is how I feel. What can we do about it? And understanding that that stuff just eventually takes a toll. So I'm glad that again I went through it. I got through it and played some good footy towards the back end of my career, which I'm super proud of, getting back to the level that I did.
Good. It's chiselled you into a human being that's got a lot of qualities now that, unfortunately, sometimes the shit just has to come in order to define who you really are. You've come out the other side and you look good for it, in that respect. So well done. I wanted to just ask you, there was a little story here that I found out during the week about you winning the coin toss for Drouin back in the early days. Can you share that with everyone?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I was captain or stepping captain, or I don't know what it was, but we were a bloody good side, and I think we'd won our first 5 games and no one had scored against us. So we didn't have a percentage. And then we went down to Turret and they were no good, like absolute basket case. Yeah. Won the toss. I pointed the wrong way, so I pointed that way, went and told the boys we're going the other way. First centre clearance, bang out the middle, took 2 bounces, kicked a goal, celebrated, one behind. It's the first score they got and the only score they got for the entire year. But it also meant that we had a percentage after 6 rounds, so I called myself a childhood genius.
Oh, I love it. That is so cool. Wow. When I saw that story, I just thought that's got to be told. I wanted to ask you, this is the last time, and now I'll get back into bringing Matthew into the show. But in 2015, you had Matilda. How has being a dad changed your life?
Yeah, it's been amazing to share these experiences, especially now that she's sort of 4.5 and she understands what footy is. Even when she was littler, the pressure, I guess, of playing footy and having that as your sole focus gets removed from you pretty quickly because you got a dirty nappy. They don't care if you got to get up in the morning for footy. They want the poo cleaned off their bum. So they're pretty selfish like that. But it's just opening my eyes to a whole different world. As I said, sort of never really having a dad growing up, I always wanted to be the best dad I could. So the effort I put in to try and make sure that she has every opportunity in life, but then also set good examples and just have a lot of fun with her. I think that's the beauty of being a kid, is just having as much fun as possible. So as a 32-year-old who doesn't mind having a bit of a laugh and making a dick of himself, I'm pretty good at facilitating that, I think. So, and as I said, sharing those moments with her, she's old enough now to understand it, and we watch it back on the tally, and they're things that I guess growing up she'll be grateful for, and I'm grateful that I shared them with her.
Wow, that is awesome. Great insight. This is why I love doing these shows, to get the players to come along, and you've just given him a round of applause, but it's fantastic. Thanks for the insight. Thanks for being so candid, and it was a joy just to listen to what you've been through. And as I said before, you've come out a hell of a man on the other side of it. So well done for all of that, mate, and I wish you the best. What we're going to do now, we're going to keep going into it, but we're going to get Matthew involved in it, and we're going to do this for a little bit of a segment that's going to come up a little bit later. So the people that are in the room are going to be interested in these answers. There may be questions that I'll ask you, Daisy, that you've already answered, but we'll go through it again. Where did you grow up, Matthew?
I'm a local boy, so in Melbourne, northeast suburbs, Greensborough.
Greensborough, okay.
Yep.
And where did you grow up, Daisy? I know you said Druin before.
Druin.
So Druin.
Yep.
Who did you barrack for when you were growing up, Matty?
I was a Collingwood supporter.
Cool. Wow.
Daisy was his favourite.
Daisy was his favourite. I like that. And who did you?
I barracked for the Cats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Who was your favourite footballer when you were growing up?
Dean Cox.
Oh, I nearly got to slip in. Dean Cox. Okay. Because you aspired. I mean, you knew
Always
you were
wanted
going
to be a
ruckman.
ruckman, and he was the best at the time, so
Yeah.
looked up to him.
Talented man.
Yeah, Gary Ablett Senior by far.
Yeah.
The things
Okay.
he could do were freakish.
Absolutely. What's your frame of mind like before a game of footy? Are you nervous? Are you anxious? Are you calm? What sort of emotion do you go through?
I get nervous, but I try and stay calm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you give us a little bit of insight into that? What do you actually do to?
So I've got a thing before the game. I like to get on the boxing pads.
Yep.
About 30 seconds. Normally Johnny Barker's holding them, and
Yep.
that's sort of I find just sort of triggers my brain and ready to go out and play footy.
Cool. Okay. What about you?
You wouldn't
Dave?
want to meet him in a dark alley, by the way.
Yeah. Right.
I sort of sit down, just sort of take in the room as, my preparation, whether I'm anxious or not. I sort of sit there, and the big fella just sits there and just goes berserk,
Yeah, really?
genuinely berserk. So
That's
he
great.
can throw him. He looks like a gentle giant. Don't be fooled. He'll kick the shit out of you.
I don't know what I'm doing.
That's great inspiration for you. I mean, that's you get into the zone.
Yeah.
Literally, and get out there, and you can't wait to tackle your opponent. What were you doing before footy came along? Both of you, like, what was happening in your life before footy came along?
Not much. Straight out of school.
Okay.
Used to work a little bit part time with the old man in
Yep.
the scrapyard, so
Okay.
that'd be my Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So that was about it.
Okay, and
Yeah, much the same, or apart from working with his old man. I was straight out of school. I stacked shelves on a Thursday morning for
Yeah,
a bit
right.
of cash, and that was it.
Okay, all right. Do you have a pet?
Yes, I got a dog, little Staffy called Bailey.
Okay, how old is he?
She,
She?
6.
She? 6. Okay, and Dale?
I got a cat called Drizzy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
what sort?
A stray.
Stray.
I rescued it.
Yeah. Oh,
I
did
did,
you
yeah,
really?
I did the right thing. Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
Crazy cat lady. Okay. What's your star sign?
Taurus.
Taurus?
Gemini.
Gemini, okay. Is there a nickname that you have that we wouldn't be aware of? Is there one out there that maybe stays within the four walls?
Doesn't really stay with him, but Humphrey was, that was my first year. Heath Scotland gave me that one. Now I get referred to as Frank.
Really?
Yeah,
Is
so
there-
all the boys just call me Frank, and even the coaches. So
And-
the old man's Frank. I don't know if we look the same or...
They
if
do.
that's-
Is that what it is?
Sort of where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
Right,
Yeah.
okay. And anything for you, Daisy?
Nah, usually Daisy or get a kick, you moron. Yeah.
Yeah, right. You hear that one a bit?
Yeah,
okay.
I'll cop that one a bit.
Tell me how, I don't want to appear completely ignorant here, but how did Daisy come about for you? Where was the first time you heard it?
Yeah, now that I'm retired and I'm going to do a lot more of these speaking gigs, guess I better come up with a better story, but the story sucks. It was a cricket club. There was an old guy called Dale. He got Daisy. I took his spot, so they called me Daisy.
That's it.
Yeah. As I said, it sucks.
It's still the story though, but yeah, okay. When you've got just some you time, nothing else, you don't have to do any football, there's no commitments, what do you like to get up to?
I enjoy walking the dog. So
Okay.
taking the dog up to the oval, throwing the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, it's sort of my relaxing time.
Yeah, good.
I like golfing and surfing. So I've got a surf trip coming up on next Friday. Go to the North Sumatra for a week, which would be
nice.
awesome. Yeah.
It'd be good to get away from Melbourne and football over that period for you as well. Can you tell me your best ever game? We did this one for you, but can you tell me your best ever game, Matty? Is there one that springs to mind for you?
I always remember my first game against Essendon. I think it was about 85,000 people there. I think Fev
Wow.
kicked 10 that day. I was lucky enough my first kick was a goal, so I always remember that.
How good's that? Excellent.
But we ended up losing, so...
Yeah, right. Okay. Highs,
It was,
lows.
it was a good game.
Yeah, that's what footy's all about. And our last one here, boys, what is the one food that you simply can't resist? You can probably answer this without any trepidation now because you don't have to worry about skin fold test or anything. But what would it be? What would be that one food?
Nutella toast.
Oh, yeah? Nutella toast. Yeah, right.
Chocolate of any type, form or
Chocolate
shape.
of any type. Just bring on the chocolate,
Yeah.
whatever it looks like. Ladies and gentlemen, that's us finding out what about me. Please put your hands together for the boys. What I'm going to do now, boys, it is a footy panel show. We've discussed a lot of football with you, boys. We're going to go into the football coming up this weekend. It's bloody exciting because there's some cracker games going on. But what I'm going to do here, boys, is I'll obviously read out the teams and then you just give me a little bit of insight, maybe your opinion on who you think is going to win and then a margin. We'll kick it off. It's going to be on Thursday night, tomorrow night, September the 5th. It's at 6:10 p.m. It's at Optus Stadium over in WA. It's West Coast versus Essendon. Let's hear West Coast. That'll do. Let's go straight to Essendon. And that'll do there. So, that's the club songs. Who do you think will win? I know we had a little brief conversation out the back. How do you think Essendon could go coming up against the West Coast Eagles over there?
Look, they're your team.
Look, I think Essendon could be a smoky over there. You don't know what they're going to dish up on the day, but hopefully they come prepared. But West Coast over there, playing at home. I think Nick Nat's back this week too,
Yeah.
I've heard. So
They'll be cautious with him playing though, won't they? Probably.
him coming in, I think he could have a really big impact in the ruck. And West Coast for me.
Yeah, okay. And by much, do you think, Matt?
4 goals.
Okay, all right. Daisy?
Yeah, I'm of similar thinking. I think West Coast are probably the better team, and obviously all things in their favour over there. Home deck, Nick Nat coming back. See, Essendon's got a heap of players coming back in, which is always touch and go, I reckon, especially around finals time. You don't want to be taking any risks, let alone 4 or 5. So I give the Bombers a chance, but I think West Coast are one of the better sides that didn't make top 4.
Yeah. Well, they've got a great spine, haven't they? That's good insight. Let's go to this game. It's on Friday night, 7:50 p.m. at the MCG. I hear the rain's coming down outside, and that's probably going to be what's happening on Friday night as well. So that could be very interesting. Speaking of clubs having 4 or 5 coming back in, there's going to be Collingwood, but we will hear the Geelong song. Let's go with that.
We are Geelong.
That'll do. Thanks, Sam. And we'll go straight to the Collingwood one. And that'll do there. So Geelong Cats coming up against Collingwood at the MCG. It should be a cracker game. No two ways about that. But you have got 4 players coming in for Collingwood. We talk of Tagoe, Stevenson, still side bottom. Have you spoken to him about his ruptured testicle?
I'm in a WhatsApp chat with him. There was a few jokes being thrown around. Luke Ball was offering to change his last name.
I'll swap you. Yeah, right.
Just some brilliant banter. Real A-grade humour it was.
Absolutely.
But no, look, he's a quality player. I actually think the rain probably helps Geelong, to be completely honest. I think it probably keeps the game a bit more in tight, whereas Collingwood, if it had been dry, would have used the width. Geelong aren't really used to the width of the ground because they play a lot down at GMHBA.
Alphabet Stadium.
Alphabet Stadium. Well said. So, I think another game that could go either way, but I think the weather will play more of a part than people think.
All right, and you think Cats by what sort of a margin?
Well, I reckon a real close one, sort of couple of points.
Wow, okay. And Matt?
Yeah, I'm same as Daisy. Geelong for me. Obviously, we played them that last game, and it was wet down there, and the way they moved the ball and just their contested footy was really good. So I think they're going to take that in again. They'll just be too strong.
Yeah, they've got Paddy Dangerfield is playing some brilliant football this end of the season. It was funny when they played the other week. They didn't even go through Hawkins. It was Luke Dalhouse and Crichton Myers actually didn't kick any goals, but there was no Hawkins kicking goals for them. And it was really interesting because then you saw other players like Dangerfield come up and he ended up with 4 for the day. Gary Ablett Jr. with 3. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go up against Collingwood. There's some good key matchups in that game. So
you've just named every player I played on in that last game. So I think I had 5 kicked against me, so I might get some votes on Geelong's best and fairest that night, I reckon.
Wouldn't that be interesting? 3 votes. What? Yeah, okay. Let's go to this game, boys. Saturday, the September the 7th. This is up at Giant Stadium, 3:20 p.m. It's GWS. Let's hear them. Thanks, mate. And straight over to the Western Bulldogs. And that'll do there. So this, again, we did have a discussion out the back about this. This could be really interesting as well because I think all 3 of us agreed that the Western Bulldogs could be the real smoky of the final season.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great game. Obviously, the Bulldogs, they play pretty well up there too. They beat him in the prelim a couple of years ago too to get into the grand final.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm on the Bulldogs here. I like the way they play footy. It's just move the ball as quick as possible and just run and kick goals.
Absolutely.
So, no, it's going to be an exciting game.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I reckon, although they smoked them the other week, I reckon they've played all their cards and GWS will learn a lot more from that game than the Bulldogs will. So it's again though, winning form's good form, and the Bulldogs have really strung together a good past month. The Giants haven't scored a goal in 4 of their last 6 quarters. I got made aware of today. So it's very hard to win, as we know, if you don't kick goals.
Yes. What I wanted to just allude to there is that their scoring has been quite high. They've been 120s, 130s, the Western Bulldogs. Dale Morris is now retired from the Western Bulldogs, so that might give them a little bit of spirit, but I think it should be a crackerjack game, even that it is up at Giant Stadium. So we'll see how that one goes.
Just on that, I think it's so interesting they score that much, because you think of their forward line, apart from Norton, who's taken, good contested marks in one game, the rest of them are sort of makeshift forwards. So their ability to find blokes, 15, 16 goals a game is incredible. So I guess that's why they're a good side, because they don't just have the one avenue that maybe GWS do in a Cameron.
Brilliant point, mate. Exactly. Very well made. And that's
why he's commentating on Saturday.
Yeah, right.
I've already done my notes on that game.
Yeah, right. You probably have, haven't you? Yeah, okay. Silly of me not to even get that. This should be a cracker as well. It's 7:25 p.m. Saturday night up at the Gabba. We're also alluding to that. It's going to be like 29 degrees on Saturday, and then it'll still be quite warm, probably around about 22 game time. So see how the Richmond Tigers go up against them. It's up against Brisbane. Let's hear them, Sam. Thanks, mate. We'll go straight over to the Tigers. Cheers, buddy. There we go. All right. So these two teams, they only just met the other week. The result obviously went in Richmond's favour, but this is going to be a different game.
I think it's going to be very interesting. Obviously, both winning form at the moment. Finish on top. Richmond, you look at their past, they just know how to win and playing big games. And Brisbane, really this year, have been that consistent.
Yeah.
And they're a different side up there too. I remember playing a final up there years ago, and like their crowd, once Brisbane got moving, their crowd get behind them and they just grow another leg.
Yeah. And it's a sold-out game, Matt. So, that's going to be a chock-a-block stadium.
It's going to be massive for them. And so I'm on Brisbane here. I think
okay.
they're going to get up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm much the same. I think, the youthfulness and the youthful exuberance that they're playing with, sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
and so Richmond have all the expectation, whereas the Lions will just be out there having a good time and soaking it all in.
And they've kind of done that all year, haven't they? They've gone out with, I think the expectation, I compared this, I think around about, must have been about round 6 or something, where I was saying everyone was expecting Melbourne to be the team that, well, look where they've finished up 17th and they've had a shocking year. Brisbane, everybody thought they'll probably be down around about the same way. So they both came out, high expectations, and Brisbane have actually lived up to theirs, and now they get the opportunity to, play in this one. So it should be a cracker. So results would be Brisbane, and you think just by a...
Brisbane by 5 goals.
Wow.
Yeah, 5-6 goals for me as well.
There you go. All right. Well, that's it. What I wanted to do now is just say that was our tipping segment. It was proudly brought to you by the Big Picture people, the experts in home cinema. They've got 6 great locations: South Morang, Cheltenham, Fountain Gate, Hoppers Crossing, Water Gardens and the Gold Coast. Could you please put your hands together for the boys? Thank you. Well done, guys. What I want to do now, we're going to let you guys just relax a little bit, have some fun. We'll get some people up here and get them involved. When I say up here, I mean down the front. What we want to do is we're going to introduce our first segment. We want 2 contestants. Who thinks that they don't have to do too much, really? In fact, all you've got to do is just come up here and keep a paddle in your hand. So Pat and James, Sandy's going to get you all organised. I'll introduce the segment. The boys are going to play along. It's called Don't You Forget About Me. This is appropriate, actually, Daisy, because you've played at the Carlton Football Club now for the amount of time that you have. What's going on down there? There's a bit of love going on.
Hands we can see him, Pat.
Sounds ominous. The segment, as I said, is called Don't You Forget About Me, and it's what I'm going to be doing here, boys, is we're going to have 45 seconds on the clock. I'm going to read out the player's number at the club, and you've got to give me their Christian name and their surname. For those playing along, that's first and last.
I couldn't do it when I played with them, little when I played.
So,
do it, champ, kick it in.
Yeah, so that's it. Hey, mate, over here. So this is going to test you, obviously, a little bit, because we want to see how well you do know your mates at the football club.
We've had a fair list change in the last couple of years too. It's still trying to...
So and this is actually why I call it Don't You Forget About Me. So what's going to happen, James, how are you, mate? You well? James, you're going to be playing on behalf of Matthew Cruiser, all right? And Pat, you're going to be playing on behalf of Daisy Thomas. So you two will keep score. Whenever you hear me say this word, correct? and you hear that noise, you'll flip over the paddle. That's how simple it is. Who would like to go first out of you two boys?
Cruise would.
Well, Cruz would. We love it when they actually volunteer. This is fantastic, mate. So what's going to happen, mate, you'll have 45 seconds on the clock. That'll be ticking down. As soon as I read out the number, you've got to give me their Christian name and their surname.
Do we get one phone a friend?
No, but I'll tell you what you can do. If it comes up and you go, oh, mate, I've got no idea, just pass. Because we want to see how many you can actually get for the prizes we're going to give away. So your first one will start with the first number that I read out. And it starts now. Number 43.
Will Setterfield.
Correct. Number 39.
Dale Thomas.
There you go. Number 1.
Jack Silvani.
Correct. Number 32.
Alex Fazolo.
Correct. Number 10.
Harry McKay.
Correct. Number 2.
Paddy Dow.
Correct. Number 15.
Sam Doherty.
Correct. Number 4.
Lockie O'Brien.
Correct. Number 25.
Zach Fisher.
Correct. Number 6.
Cade Simpson.
Correct. Number 30.
Charlie Kerno.
Correct. Number 7.
Matt Kennedy.
Correct. Number 29.
Cam Polson.
Correct. Number 8.
Matt Cruiser.
Correct. Number 41.
Levi Casbolt.
Correct. Number 35.
Ed Kerno.
Correct. Number 11.
Mitch McGovern.
Correct. Number 14. I'll give it to you. Liam Jones. There it is. All right, how'd he
so there's
go?
none left for me.
Whoa, 17. 17, mate. Congratulations. That's good.
Thanks, James.
Pat, I'm very sorry about this. He took all the ones I knew as well.
I think Daisy's suggesting you might want to go back and have a seat, Pat. No. No, you'll be right. We'll get this done. This will be perfect. That was good, mate. We've done this. I do this segment like at most shows during the season, and the average for most people is round about between 14 and 20. Unless your name's Jack Higgins and then it's 4. But that's not too bad. 17's a good score, so well done. No, you did well. So now it's your turn, Days. We're going to see how we go. We've got 45 seconds on the clock. Your time will start with your first one, and it starts now. Number 16.
Darcy Lang.
Correct. Number 22.
Pass.
Caleb Marchbank. Number 3.
Mark Murphy.
Correct. Number 23.
Jacob Wiedering.
Correct. Number 5.
Samo Petreski-Seton.
That's it. Number 18.
Sammy Walsh. What a
There you
man.
go.
What a player.
Yeah, number 9.
Cripper. Patrick Cripps.
Don't forget him. Number 24.
It's a good one. Nick Newman.
Correct. Number 13.
Ooh, who's that? Liam Stocker.
Liam Soccer. Yeah. Number 19.
Yeah, Angus Shoemaker.
Angus Shoemaker. Number 26.
The crowd's better at this than me. 20. Is Paulson? No, he's 29. McCready. That's why they sacked me.
Who do you reckon 26 was?
Harrison McCready.
There you go. How'd he go then, Pat? He got that last one right? 9. All right, Patrick Cripps' number. Pat, unfortunately, that doesn't make you our winner tonight, but it does make our little friend down here, James. He is our winner. Congratulations, James. What's actually happened, the lovely Sandy's going to have to come up here because what Matthew's just done for you is he's won you this awesome prize, which Sandy is about to grab, and she's going to bring it down and show you. And in the meantime, what I'll do for you, Pat, is, there it is, my dear, just there, is Pat. Yes. You can have that.
Oh, thank you.
How's that? So it's a football that's been signed by both the boys already. All right.
Oh, sorry, Pat. I
So-
sucked at that.
So here comes the lovely Sandy. Look at this. This is yours, mate. We always like that. That's always part of the show. Sandy does that on purpose, I think. Well done. So, James, congratulations. Matty Cruiser won you that. There you go.
Enjoy.
All right. Good stuff. Thank you. Look at that. Sandy's about to sit herself down. Just grab a knife and help yourself. All right. That edition of Don't You Forget About Me was proudly brought to you by the Cheesecake Shop, the nation's most loved cheesecake shop. Why? Because it's made with love. The Cheesecake Shop with over 50 stores in Victoria alone. Tonight's cake was made by the team down at Warren Turner, so thanks for that. James, woohoo! How happy are you? Right on. Yeah. Matty Cruiser said just save me some. He'll come down and see you in a little while. All right, what we want to do now is we want 2 contestants just to come up here and actually just sit here with a paddle. And pull up a seat. Sandy will look after you. You should have 2 paddles down there. I'll introduce the segment. It's called What I Like About You. All right. This What I Like About You, this segment is actually just to find out a little bit about your personality, your characteristics and, you know, what you like. We know that you're footballers, but we also know that you're humans, so we just want to find out a little bit more about you. What's going to happen, I'm going to actually give you a scenario. And the scenario is then multiple choice. but you've got to give the answer to what you think Daisy would do, all right? And then you'll get awarded a point if that's how it works out. And we'll try it with our first one. So because you actually volunteered to go first last time, Matt, Daisy's going to go first this time. All right.
I'm confused.
It has that effect, but it'll make sense shortly. So I'm going to give you a scenario, and the answer is going to come from you, Matt, as to what you think Daisy would do. So this is the scenario. Daisy is doing the shopping, and the person in front of him in the queue is in a 12 items or less register with a massive trolley load of groceries. What does Daisy do next? Does he kindly point out that they are at the wrong register? Does he say nothing and just patiently wait? Or does he just move to another cash register?
He definitely tells them they're in the wrong register.
He's so right.
All right, so there's 1 point. So Matt Cruiser has just got 1 point. So that's your first one. Well done, Sam. All right, now, Daisy is in a taxi cab with a driver that seems intent on stopping at every orange light when they could have clearly made it through the intersection. They also keep letting people in, merging in front, and they are driving at 20 kilometres under the speed limit. What does Daisy do next? Does he think, oh, what a nice, friendly person they are, and say nothing? Or does he say, come on, mate, what's going on? I've got an appointment to get to. Or does he politely say, excuse me, can we please pick up the pace a little?
Well, first thing, Daisy isn't in a cab. He's normally in a helicopter, just going from place to place. So, but he's probably telling him pick up the pace.
B or C?
Both.
Both.
Yeah, both then.
Politely encouraging him to go faster.
Pick up the pace, mate, and come on, mate, what's going on? I've got an appointment to go to. So we're going to award that point.
Yeah.
All right, so Sammy's got another one. Daisy is at the baggage carousel at the airport. He's patiently waiting for his luggage to come off. He can see it, but he can't get access to it because people are in the way. Does he push his way through politely? Does he go to another area to collect it, or does he just wait until everybody has got theirs and then he just goes over when it is less packed?
He definitely pushes through. Politely.
Yeah, you've travelled. Stop making me out to be a bad person. Everyone does that.
That's it.
You're going to wait for your bag to go
There you
around.
go. So Sammy got another one. Well done. Too easy. I like it. Now we're going to switch over. That's 3 points. So you got all three correct. Well done. What we're going to do now is we're going to switch it all over. These questions are going to be about Matt. You're going to be giving the answer to it. Matt's pulled up at a set of traffic lights and the people in the car next to him recognise him. What does he do next? Does he wave? Does he ignore them? Or does he pretend he hasn't seen them?
C.
Oh, see again?
Pretend you didn't see him.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Yeah, pretend he doesn't see him. That's a point. Well done. Okay. Sharon, that's one for you. Beautiful. Matt is driving along on the freeway in the right-hand lane doing 100 Ks when suddenly he has to slow down to the person in front of him who was doing only 80. What does he do next? Does he patiently just wait, hoping they will move over shortly? Does he change lanes and then jump back in front of them and then continue on his way? Or does he flash his lights and toot his horn suggesting they move over?
No, I reckon B. He'd cut back in and then
Yeah.
speed up and hoon off in front of him, leave him in his dust.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, good. All right. Yeah, he knows him then. This is your last one. Matt's at an intersection turning right, and the person in front of him is on their phone texting. As a consequence, they miss the green arrow. Whoa. What does he do next? Is he upset by this and thinks, oh, well? Does he toot his horn like a madman, or does he give him the death stare?
I reckon it'd be the death stare, which is pretty scary from the big fella.
It's the death stare.
He's got them all right. All three were right, Sharon. All right. Sam and Sharon, we don't really need you down there to be actually scoring. We just do that for argument's sake so we can give you a prize. So well done to both of you. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sharon. What you've both got, the lovely Sandy's going to hand it over. You've both got a signed football each. All right? So thank you very much for participating. We hope you had a good time. That was wonderful. And thank you, boys. It was excellent.
Good job.
There you go. Well done. Thank you very much. I like to do that one, boys, because it just shows that you are normal. You know, you've got a personality. You are like the rest of us. But a lot of people see you out in the football field, and that's all they know about you. There's more to you than meets the eye. We've found that all out now. And I'm betting that I would not want to be on a phone texting in front when you're behind me in a car.
And if you see Matt, don't wave.
I'll wave back.
There's that too, don't forget. All right, what we want to do now, boys, we want to get two contestants up here to actually participate. We want to see how much you've actually been paying attention to tonight's show. So who would like to participate in this particular segment? You can choose who you'd like to play with. Ladies first. Maddie Cruiser, there you go. So we'll switch sides.
Thanks, Debbie.
Always like to put them under pressure like that. Yeah, well done. So what's going to happen here, you've both got a microphone each.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to be asking you a series of questions, but what's going to happen is I'll go with whoever. Who would like to go first out of you two? We'll put it back on you. Yeah, you would like to go first? All right, Mario. So what's going to happen, Mario, you're going to be playing for Daisy Thomas, all right? And Deb, when it's your turn, you'll be playing for Maddie Cruiser, okay?
Okay, yep.
So I'm going to be asking you a series of questions. If you think you know the answer, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to give me the answer. Sam will have a little tick-tock clock going over there, and we'll see how much you've been paying attention to the show tonight, all right? So here comes your first question. We'll get you to face that way, and here it goes. How old is Daisy Thomas?
32.
All right, bang. Yeah, I should let you know, each question is worth $5 if you get it right. Okay, so if you can finish getting all of these right, you're going to walk away a happy little man.
Yeah, I was pretty good at maths, so you're on $5.
Very nice start. All right. Where did he grow up?
Druin.
There you go, $10.
Up to
Beautiful.
$7.50.
I might let Daisy pay this at the end. This will be good. All right. Who did he barrack for growing up?
Geelong.
All right. Who was his favourite footballer?
Gary Ablett.
Which one?
Senior.
That's perfect. Excellent. What is his frame of mind before a game of footy?
Oh, nervous, I think.
What, sorry?
Nervous?
Is that it?
Yeah, I said taking the room.
Yeah. Do you want to...
Yeah, somewhat nervous.
Yeah, somewhat nervous. Will we pay him the money, though?
Yeah, give,
All right,
give
okay.
the man the
Thank
cash.
you.
All right, you got the money, all right. What was he doing before footy came along?
School.
School? Yeah?
School. Got drafted.
Happy with that? Okay, all right. How many goals has he kicked in his AFL career to date?
It's finished, so there's no more coming.
113. I don't know.
155, I know.
Spot on, mate. Well done. 155 it is. No points, but it was 155. What is his date of birth, day, month and year?
No idea.
No idea? 21st of June 1987. How many games has he played in his AFL career to date?
286.
Was that 286?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 258. Bad luck, mate. What sort of a pet does he have and what is it called?
A cat.
Yeah?
Oh, I didn't catch the name. Sorry. Don't know.
No?
Drizzy was it.
Drizzy.
Yeah? All right, you got it. Well done. Not bad. What is his nickname?
Daisy.
All right. We didn't have anything else. That's good. What does he like to do when he just has him time?
Golf.
Yeah? Anything else?
Surfing. Yep.
Oh, and surfing. Good. Not bad. All right. Is he doing anything recently coming up with
Yeah,
surfing?
he's got a surfing trip next week, I think.
Oh, beautiful. Well done. Where's he going?
Oh, I didn't catch that one.
That's good, because otherwise I'd be thinking you're a stalker. Jesus. All right. What was his best ever game of footy?
Say that again. Sorry, I didn't catch
What was his best ever game of footy?
First game. Oh, jeez, I can't remember that one. No, sorry.
No, can't remember.
Fail.
All right. No, that's okay. What is the one food that he can't resist?
Chocolate.
All right, good. And what is his star sign?
Gemini.
Gemini. All right.
elite round.
Fantastic. I should have actually been getting you to score there, and I didn't, which is my fault, because now I don't know how many you got
11.
right. I think it was about
11.
11. So you won $55.
1, 2, 3.
$55. Well done. All right, good stuff.
you.
Good man. That means he's been paying attention. Have you, Debbie? Yeah, all right. Let's see how you go.
Pressure's on, Debbie. You're right. I'm just joking.
So we're going to see how much you know about Maddie Cruiser. We're going to see how this one goes. So, Matt, I'll need you to score. How old is he?
26.
I'll take 26. I'm 30.
30. Bad luck. Where did he grow up?
In Greensborough.
Yeah, very good. Who did he barrack for growing up?
Collingwood.
That was hard. That was hard for you to get out, wasn't it? Yeah. I could see you were choking on that. I understand. Who was his favourite footballer growing up?
Dean Cox.
Beautiful. What was his frame of mind before a game of footy?
Boxing. Well, yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. What was he doing before footy came along?
He worked with his dad doing scrap metal stuff.
Yeah. Very good. All right. Getting up to stalker status. I love it. All right. That's good. How many goals has he kicked in his AFL career to date?
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
I don't even know.
94. Yeah, that's all right. 94 goals. What is his date of birth, day, month, and year?
March?
Starts with an M.
May?
Yes, May.
30th?
No, it's got a 3 in it.
23?
No, we can go on along all night. Yeah, 13th of May 1989. 3. Well, yeah, we could keep going, but we won't. What sort of pet does he have, and what is it called?
Dog?
Yep,
Bailey? Is it?
very good. Well done. All right. What is his nickname?
Cruise? Cruiser?
Yeah.
Or Humphrey?
Yeah. Or Humphrey. Yeah, that'll do. Or
Frank?
Yeah, there it is. Or Frank. Yeah, yeah. What does he like to do when he has just him time?
He likes to walk with his dog.
He does like to walk with his dog. Thanks to the people at table 2. That was wonderful. Excellent. Yeah. What was his best ever game of footy?
Against, was it Essendon when he kicked a goal, the first goal? The bowler kicked 10.
Very good. Excellent. Yeah, she is an attentive listener. All right. What is the one food that he can't resist?
Oh, hang on. Nutella on toast.
Table 2. We should give you the $5. You might have we might have to break a $5 note. $2.50 to table 2. No more from you. Last one though. So this is all right. What is his star sign? Thanks, table 3 now. Table 2's gone, all right, I'll be quiet. And then table 3 goes, hey, I'm in. All right.
Taurus?
Taurus, yeah, well done. All right, finished up with a total score of 11, 55 each. Congratulations to both of you. Thanks, guys. Thank you both for participating in that. That was wonderful. The boys have won you $55. That'll pay for your night, a couple of more drinks, and you can enjoy yourself. So thank you. Thanks for getting involved. Well done. All right. What I want to do now, boys, we're just going to finish off with a little segment in here called What Can I Say, that I'm going to just ask you a series of questions on. You can either give me a short-winded answer or a long-winded answer, however the topic that we're engaged in makes you feel. So we'll introduce it. It's called What Can I Say? Thanks, boys. This little section we'll go through, boys, as I said, long-winded or short-winded answers, all up to you. Which one of these things gets you pumped the most before a game? Is it the smell of deep heat, fresh-cut grass, pulling on the jumper, strapping on the boots, a footy in your hand, or the sound of the crowd?
I reckon the smell of the grass, especially this time of year when you walk out on the G and it's,
Yeah.
Jumper for me.
Okay, yeah,
As soon
good.
as I put
All
the
right.
jumper
Who is the most manicured player down at the club?
Oh, Cam Paulson's a beautiful looking young boy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not that he tries that hard, he's just genetically well built.
Yeah, right.
Definitely not the Kerno boys.
I've heard lots of stories
Not put
about
much
that.
effort in.
Yeah. Who would you say?
Mark Murphy.
Yeah, right.
Mark,
Yeah,
yeah.
good call. Okay. Do you like running through the banners?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I do, but ours is Velcro, so it's a bit weird. I
Yeah.
like the one that you can break and...
Yeah, one that you're not going to get coat hanging on as well, I presume. You've marked the ball. The siren goes. You're on the 50 to win the game. What type of kick are you going for? You've done those 50.
Big torp,
Yeah.
get the crowd involved.
Excellent. Love it.
I'm going the drop punt.
Drop punt? Okay, all right. What are your thoughts on roaming Brian?
I'm all about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't mind it. I'll just run away. So.
Yeah. Do a Nank. Nankervis.
Nankervis,
Yeah,
yeah,
I love
straight
that
out
one.
there.
That was gold. Would you like to see more Thursday night footy?
Yes.
Yeah, and as players, you like to play it.
Yeah.
Because you do your recovery Friday and you get Saturday, Sunday off. It's brilliant.
That's gold, man. All right. Carlton supporters are
Fabulously passionate.
fabulously passionate. Good. Excellent. Beautiful. All right. Which AFL club do you dislike the most?
Collingwood or Essendon?
Yeah, Essendon for
Yeah.
mine.
Essendon or Collingwood. Okay. Would you play State of Origin if you're called upon?
Yep.
Yes.
Good. All right. Would you prefer to play in a day or a twilight grand final?
Day.
A very emphatic answer.
Yeah, day as well.
There's
Yeah,
no
we
better
should.
time, 2 o'clock on the G
Yeah.
on a Saturday.
Yeah. Okay, good. Excellent.
And if you did like Twilight, you'd finish by 7, you win, you're in the rooms, you get to your function. We're not getting out till past midnight. It's a long couple of days.
It's all about the recovery, isn't it, mate?
You want to enjoy it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why they haven't done it so far.
Yeah. If you were to describe yourself as a car, what sort of a car would you be?
I did see a Bugatti did 400 Ks the other day.
Yeah?
Nah, probably just a Bentley.
Not just a Bentley, I like it.
Vintage.
Yeah,
I was going
cool.
to say a Hilux, but I'm always getting injured, so they're unbreakable. But so
Nice.
yeah,
Good
something just
segue.
like a Tradie Ute or something.
Yeah, okay. Or something something that Hyundai put out. I get it. All
Yeah,
right.
they are great.
Yeah. Nicely said. Very well recovered. Who's the funniest bloke down at the club?
Well, it was me, but now no one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You'd agree, Matt?
yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
cool. Okay.
gonna be-
Being an AFL footballer is. I get to say it for the last time, man.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, enjoyable.
All right. Good. Who's a bit tight with their money down at the club?
Harry McKay.
That was fairly emphatic too.
Yeah, Harry's the worst by far. Nah, Cruz he's got heaps of it, so he just splashes it around. Harry's got heaps of it, but he's saving up for his advanced hair.
There's Nancy you won't get every day. All right, I like it. It's always good when they're not here and you can hang it on them, isn't it? It's
I tell him to
fabulous.
his face. Don't worry.
Well said, mate. Eddie had roof open or closed?
Closed.
Closed.
Why have
Yeah.
a roof if you're going to leave it open?
Yeah, exactly. Or bulldozed. Who down at the club has got the most swagger?
Dale.
Oh, I reckon Charlie's probably got me covered.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fashion sense or
I just
style all over?
self-belief.
Yeah, right. Self-belief. That's a nice way of putting it. Yeah, okay. What is your favourite ground to play on around Australia apart from the G?
I like the Gabba.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like it looks like a pool table at the moment. It's beautiful. It looks good.
It is nice.
Yeah.
The only other thing, if you play at night, the dew sets in. But
Yeah.
that's all right. We'll take
Okay.
that.
UTAS Stadium in Tasmania.
Oh, really?
The new one in Perth's pretty good.
You should speak your mind, mate. I love it. Yeah. Well done. Yeah, we're just going to go with that and move on. All right. Playing for the Carlton Football Club is?
In the past. I can say it, you can't.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, look, it's an honour. Like,
Yeah,
a
good.
rich
Honour,
club
privilege.
with that many,
Yeah.
premierships and great plays in the past.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's a fabulous club for history, absolutely. What's better, mark or goal of the year?
I've had both, so that's Cruz.
Nicely said. You're going to fit right into media, mate.
Mark.
Yeah. Mark, okay. Who's your Brownlow tip for 2019?
Paddy Cripps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon Callie from Geelong.
Okay. Could not be Geelong from all rumours floating around today very shortly, but anyway. Carlton, oh no, we don't have to do that because, yeah, all right, well, no, I'll leave that. Who's your favourite football commentator? Do you have one?
Special comments, Dale Thomas.
There you go. We'll hear that this weekend.
I like James Brayshaw.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep.
Him on the Triple M's pretty good.
Actually, I like Richo too.
Yeah, right.
Richo's pretty good.
Okay. You look a little bit like Richo. Do you reckon Cruz looks a little bit like Richo? Anybody? Yeah. Just a little bit.
Thanks.
Unless you don't like Richo, but you said you
I
did,
like him.
so that's cool. All right. Who does their hair the most down at the club?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Definitely not Harry.
No.
There's not much there.
He looks like a doctor, Sam Doherty. He really does. I mean, I know that's his nickname, but he really does look like a doctor. He can put on a white coat and...
Murph and Doherty are
Yeah.
Yeah.
well presented always.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go those two.
Yep.
There are a few boys that like 10 minutes before the game putting a little bit in too, so...
Wow. Okay. What do you think when you see a poster or merchandise of yourself?
Why is that in the discount bin?
Yeah, right. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, I don't really like it too much.
Okay. All right. And here's your last one. What is your reaction when you see a kid with your number on their back?
It's obviously a hand-me-down from Ange Christou.
Oh, he's modest, but he's also good. I like it.
Mine's from Lance Whitnell, so...
Yeah.
No, obviously, it's great seeing the kids
Yeah.
wearing your number. And
Humbling experience.
Yeah, you got to get a lot out of it.
I've been ripped off a bit because they have 3 or 9, which is Murph or Cripper, so they very rarely have them both together. A lot of kids wearing half of my number. Yeah, so just stick
Mark
them together.
Murphy and Patrick Cripps, 39. Yeah, I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the boys. Please put your hands together for them. Thank you. Well done, guys. That was nice and simple. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here tonight. We would have loved to have seen like 300,000 people here tonight because we wanted to give Daisy a really nice send-off, but I'm just wrapped that you were available, mate. Thanks very much, because I know that most players sort of hit the road and they're out of here after the final season comes around if you're not appearing in it. So I just wanted to say thanks very much for you being available tonight and being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You've had a wonderful career, mate. It's been a pleasure knowing you. It's been a real pleasure actually chatting with you, and you being as candid with all these people here tonight was super cool, mate. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone coming out.
Yeah.
Love you all.
Good stuff. Pat's down there waving a scarf going, yes, we love you, Daisy. Matty Cruiser, thank you, mate. First time being on the show. How'd you go? Did you enjoy it?
It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, good.
Very good.
We'll get you back season proper next year, which would be absolutely fantastic. A lot of people actually say, hey, Damo, how do we find out about the shows? Get on to us and follow us. You can see it. This obviously episode will be up on YouTube, so you can see this at some stage tomorrow. You can also get on and obviously follow us through the Facebook page. And then you can get onto the website and you can see when we're going to be doing Carlton shows next year, so you can come along and support the boys whenever we do the shows. Thanks to all our sponsors. Thanks to Sandy, the framing queen. She looks after all the framing of obviously the memorabilia that we've got here tonight. Thanks to Sandy for that. The Big Picture people, they gave away some cash. Thanks to the people involved in that. The Comics Lounge, Hamper World, Cheesecake Shop, Burley Seacombe, 3D Mini League and Ozcarts. We've got 3 more shows coming up, the 11th, the 18th and the 25th. We don't know who we're going to be doing yet because we want to see how the finals go. It's probably not relevant to you because we won't be doing another Carlton show this year, but we will next, all right? Sorry, guys, it's just how it is. But you can get in contact with us if you want to know more about all the shows coming up in 2020, which is a great little throwaway line because everything's going to look a lot clearer in 2020. Yeah, there you go. All right. Boom, boom. All right. The shows are done live every Wednesday night. You can get onto That's Good for Footy /events to find out about everything. Thanks to Sam, our sound guy. Thanks to the lovely Sandy. And one more time, could you please just put your hands together for Matt Cruiser? Say goodbye to Dale Thomas. It's fantastic. It's seriously, tonight's been like having you all in our lounge room. And we've really enjoyed it. So thanks to everyone getting along, supporting the show and having a good time tonight. My name's Damien. This has been the That's Good for Footy panel shows. Thank you and good night. Cheers, guys.
Forget about the heartbreaks, the agony and heartaches. You give it all for the game's sake, and that's good for footy. And this is what you pray for every night.